Welcome back to Breaking the Chains, Healing from Emotional and Physical Abuse. This is Season 4, Episode 4. So this is the last episode of Season 4. Donations help my podcast grow larger and produce more smoothly. Also, you all can purchase my merchandise by clicking the link in the description below. And I want to go into more detail about my merchandise. I know that my merchandise is priced at a high amount. The reason being is because I go through a third party and I only get a small percentage of profit from the merchandise that I'm selling because I'm going through a third party that is selling this merchandise. So I just wanted y'all to know that's why the prices are high. However, I only get a small percentage of profit from the merchandise. And thank you all so much for your continued support. Again, this is Season 4, Episode 4, the last episode of Season 4. And again, I am your host, Kelly. So, the topic of this episode is called Facts About Your Abuser that causes your healing process to be stepping stones. So let's get into this. After the realization hits the victim of mental or physical abuse, he or she will seek a therapist or counselor. You are on your way to healing from physical or mental abuse or both. You must forgive your abuser because you don't want unforgiveness causing you to become bitter. That's why it's so important to set up boundaries and stick to your boundaries with your ex-abuser. And believe me, your ex-abuser will try everything in their power to jump over those boundaries. However, don't let him or her do it. The boundaries that victims of abuse set into place are for you and your peace of mind, also for your protection. When you create boundaries with your ex-abuser, it protects your sanity. For if you do not create boundaries with your ex-abuser, then you will continue to get pulled back into their toxic behavior, and you will not have peace of mind. The gaslighting and smear campaign never stops, neither when you have a child or children with your ex-abuser. Here's an example of gaslighting from an abuser. You're overreacting, you're crazy, and you're irrational. None of these characteristics are true about you. However, most likely it's describing your abuser. The smear campaign is worse than ever before because you left your abuser. You're healing, creating, and sticking to your boundaries, and you have forgiven your ex-abuser. However, your ex-abuser is so shocked that you managed to escape their toxic behavior and you created a safe environment for you and your child or children. Now, your ex-abuser is using the smear campaign to everyone and anyone that will listen because they want people to turn against their victim. So your ex-abuser will create lies about your character to everyone and anyone that will believe him or her. However, there are always two sides to every relationship. Eventually, some people will see the truth and the toxic behavior from your ex-abuser. Here are some examples of the smear campaign. You're lazy, you're not attractive, and nobody likes you. Your ex-abuser will state these false statements about their victim while being calm and very manipulative. Therefore, don't let these false characteristics about you get you depressed or discouraged. Most lies about your character from your abuser is only speaking volumes about their character. The false statements about their victims are true characteristics about themselves. Therefore, don't respond to your ex-abuser about his or her lies about your character, for your abuser wants a reaction out of you. Just remember you are the victim. Your abuser is the one with the toxic behavior. Just remember all the false statements is a reflection of your abuser's horrendous actions. Also, your ex-abuser's enablers will continue to uphold his or her wrongful behavior. This is exactly why most abusers never seek help from a therapist or a counselor, because their enablers have instilled into them that their toxic traits are everyone else's fault, instead of being brutally honest with the abuser that they are destroying people's lives by their terrible actions. Therefore, it proves that your abuser is a psychopath or sociopath. A psychopath will try everything in their power to destroy their victim's life. A sociopath is a person that acts violently towards their victim, being hostile with you and threatening their victim. A psychopath, sociopath, and a narcissistic person will never apologize to you. Therefore, you must accept the fact that your abuser will never apologize. However, you will not need an apology from him or her to forgive your abuser. Also, most likely your abuser is a narcissist, meaning the abuser only cares about themselves. The word narcissism is characterized as your abuser has a sense of entitlement. I'm going to repeat that. The word narcissism is characterized as your abuser has a sense of entitlement, which is manipulative behavior and an inability to have empathy. I am going to state that what each letter of the word narcissist means. Here's what each letter of the word narcissist means. N stands for never admits to being wrong. A, avoids emotions and accountability. R, rages if anyone challenges them. C, childish when they don't get their way. I, instills doubt in their victims. S, stonewalls during conflicts. S, smears and slanders you. I, in denial and gaslights you. S, subjects you to the silent treatment. T, triangulates you and tears you down. I'm going to repeat that, what each letter of the word narcissist stands for. N, never admits to being wrong. A, avoids emotions and accountability. R, rages if anyone challenges them. C, childish when they don't get their way. I, instills doubt in their victims. S, stonewalls during conflicts. Another S, smears and slanders you. I, in denial and gaslights you. S, subjects you to the silent treatment. T, triangulates you and tears you down. A narcissist will leave a trail of destruction. Also, a narcissist wants to be the center of attention. A narcissist always shows harmful behaviors that will devastate their partner. A narcissist's emotions can fluctuate between extremes very quickly. I want to restate that too. A narcissist's emotions can fluctuate between extremes very quickly. A narcissist loves constant admiration, attention, and validation. After you leave your narcissist, he or she will use extreme evil tactics of manipulation and lies for sympathy and support to people close to him or her. A narcissist always plays the victim. However, he or she is never the victim. I want to restate that too, because that is so true. A narcissist always plays the victim. However, he or she is never the victim. Also, a narcissist is so focused on maintaining his or her fake image. And I'm going to restate that too, because that is very good and true also. Also, a narcissist is so focused on maintaining his or her fake image. A narcissistic smear campaign is a narcissistic manipulation tactic used to harm a person's reputation and isolate him or her from their support network. When a narcissist is conducting his or her smear campaign, they will be vindictive and persistent. I'm going to restate that paragraph again too. A narcissistic smear campaign is a narcissistic manipulation tactic used to harm a person's reputation and isolate him or her from their support network. When a narcissist is conducting his or her smear campaign, they will be vindictive and persistent. And the 5 reasons why, I'm going to list the 5 reasons why narcissists use the smear campaign. 1, to protect their image. 2, to maintain control. 3, to appear like the victim. 4, to get revenge. 5, to accomplish a goal or victory. I'm restate that also. Here's the 5 reasons why narcissists use the smear campaign. 1, to protect their image. 2, to maintain control. 3, to appear like the victim. 4, to get revenge. 5, to accomplish a goal or victory. A victim of abuse dealing with the ongoing manipulation and lies can be very challenging. That is why it's very important for the victim to detach emotionally and mentally from your narcissist so you can continue your healing journey. And I'm going to state a quote by Morgan Freeman. They might think they played you, but in reality, they only played themselves. This is by Morgan Freeman. I'm going to restate that quote this is by Morgan Freeman. They might think they played you, but in reality, they only played themselves. And again, that's by Morgan Freeman. The best description of a psychopath is your abuser will be driving his or her vehicle and run over their victim again and again to make sure that you are completely destroyed. A psychopath wants to make sure that he or she has caused a lot of trauma in your life so you can't function at all. It's never easy to forgive your abuser, for you may have physical bruises. You may have physical bruises or broken bones from him or her. And it will take you months and years to heal and recover from the trauma and pain of physical abuse that you endured. Self-care is very important as you are on your way to healing. Also, you are most likely to have a lot of mental abuse and very hurtful and nasty things said to you by your abuser that will take months or years of healing from all the mental abuse that occurred. Your ex-abuser knows that their abuse, gaslighting, and smear campaign hasn't kept you into deep depression. I know that's the main goal of a narcissist, psychopath, or sociopath, is trying everything in his or her power to get their victim to the point of not speaking about the months and years of abuse. Your abuser doesn't want you to expose. I'm going to start all over with that sentence. Your abuser does not want you to expose that they're a physically or mentally abusive person. So they continue to gaslight and use the smear campaign to everyone he or she knows to keep you in discouragement. The reason that I went in more into depth about behaviors of a narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, the smear campaign, and gaslighting is because victims need to be aware of the red flags to look for when you're in an abusive relationship. That's why it's so important to be aware that your abuser will not change because your abuser had these dangerous characteristics for many years. Speak calmly and let your voice be heard to everyone because your truth is more important than your abuser's continued lies and manipulation. Your story could help and change other victims' lives of abuse. I'm going to restate that sentence. Your story could help and change other victims' lives of abuse. Please don't be silent about your physical or mental abuse just because your abuser has threatened you. You are the courageous man or woman that decided to leave your abuser. And for that, your story could save a man or woman's life who is living with an abuser and believes there isn't a way out of the very toxic relationship and environment. I'm going to restate that sentence. You are the courageous man or woman that decided to leave your abuser. And for that, your story could save a man or woman's life who is living with an abuser and believes there isn't a way out of the very toxic relationship and environment. There is always a way out of a physical or mental abusive partnership. Your abuser is angry at you because you left him or her immediately. The longer you stay with an abuser, the harder it is for you to leave their toxic environment. Plus, staying with an abuser will cause a lot of physical and mental illnesses. Also, staying with your abuser will continue to add more trauma to your life. Plus, you should have a support system, meaning your family, friends, your pastor, or church members. They will definitely have a safe place for you and your children to live. No need to tell your abuser where you are staying. You can notify law enforcement, your lawyer, or your support system can contact your abuser, telling him or her that you and your children had to escape because of the mental or physical abuse. I know that leaving your abuser can be very scary because most likely he or she has threatened to harm you if you leave. However, you have the law enforcement on your side and your support system. And I'm going to end this podcast with the quote that I came up with. There is always enough light to outshine the darkness. I'm going to restate that quote. There is always enough light to outshine the darkness. Thank you all again for listening to Season 4, Episode 4, which is the last episode of Season 4, Breaking the Chains, Healing from Emotional and Physical Abuse. Again, I am your host, Kelly, and I thank you all so much for your continued support. Again, donations help my podcast grow larger and produce more smoothly. Also, you can purchase my merchandise by clicking the link in the description below. And you all have a blessed night.